So you remember when I came up here to, well, I guess by here I should let you know where I am. I'm back at Washington Pass, checking out this spot that I came out last time. If you remember in my last video where I was out here, I was trying to scramble around in the dark and find a spot. And all the way out here, out there were a bunch of deer. Quite a few of you made a comment that you're freaked out, so I got here a bit earlier. I'm gonna try to find a way to go in the daytime here this time. So this area has a bunch of little, well, I guess, I don't know if it's one little stream, but a bunch of water running through here that I think can make a nice composition with the mountain behind me. So I was originally coming out here for sunset, but as you can see, not a single cloud in the sky, which figures. Normally you want a little bit of clouds to make a nice sunset, but so I guess that just means I'm gonna pivot and shoot some stars tonight. But I'll get my composition lined up before it gets dark this time. Now you can see what I was going for. I'm hoping I can use one of these streams as a reflection or a leading line or something. But you can see I came out over there. I was trying to navigate this in the dark. It wasn't working too well. But at least now I know how I got here, so I can make it back a little more easily. So I'm gonna kind of meander around here, try to find a cool composition, walk you through what I end up doing. I think I'm going to be parked here for a while. I got my composition. I'm getting this mountain. And then what I'm trying to do here from the top, where's my finger, is get this shape to match the mountain. And then, of course, I'm going to get the actual mountain in the shot. So here's how it looks on the back of the camera itself. Try not to get a glare. So what I'm going to do is I'll wait a little bit longer. I'm going to wait for the sun to go down a little bit more. And then I will get a twilight exposure of the foregrounds. That way I don't have to push the ISO quite so high. I can try to keep the noise down, and also get a foreground where there's enough brightness to be interesting. And then of course I'm gonna shoot for the stars, so I'm gonna wait a couple hours, grab a few star exposures, so that way when I get home I'll blend this awesome foreground with the stars that will eventually come out. But at least this time I made it back here. Like these little streams, or whatever they're called, just twist all the way through this valley, and it makes it really serpentine and kind of tough to get your bearings. So now I'll just let the tedium begin. Although it's never a bad day when you're out in this. Never, ever. It's amazing how quickly that light's changing too. Check out already. So I'm gonna end up just hanging out here for a couple hours. It's just gonna be me and the deer. Oh, by the way, when you saw the deer before, this is where they were all standing, out in here. So, it's just gonna be me and the deer, weird noises. So yeah, once the sun sets, I'm gonna start gathering up my exposures here. So I'll probably be here for a couple hours, and I'll show you my progress as I go. And I did bring a second tripod this time, so it won't be so sketchy in the dark. See you in a minute, or at least a minute for you. Something while I'm thinking about it, while I'm waiting for the sun to finish setting here, is I wanted to give a couple quick tips specifically about using your cell phone while you're out using your regular camera too. The first way is when you're running around trying to get good landscape shots, you don't want to have to dig your tripod out, dig your filters out, hook your camera up, all that stuff for a shot that you might not want to take. So I actually use the camera on my phone a lot to help me kind of visualize shots and compositions. Sometimes when you're out in a big landscape like this, it can all be really overwhelming. It can be tough to see the compositions because everything just looks so amazing. And the phone helps me do that. I just pull up my camera, start looking at things through my phone, which is kind of a limiting factor on what I can see. And it helps me visualize a little bit better where a composition might be before I drag out all my gear. The second way I use my phone a lot is to actually plan certain shots while I'm out in the field. There's an app I love called PhotoPills, and this is not a sponsored video. And what this app allows me to do, it allows me to plan certain shots, allows me to see where the sun is going to rise and going to set. One of my favorites is this Night AR, and what it actually can do here, if you can see that very well, it actually plots. Whoops, is that bad? Oh, you're getting a reflection. It actually plots, and I see, yeah, you can see kind of where it's too bright out right now, but the Milky Way is already kind of starting to stick straight up. But this is what I use it a lot for, to visualize where the Milky Way is going to be so that I can line up my shots and figure out what time I need to be there or how long I need to wait in order to get the kind of shots that I want. It's not guesswork. Anyway, I wanted to share something useful while I'm out in this little adventure, taking you guys along with me, so hope you enjoy it. Kind of wish I brought some snacks. This light is getting so good. Ooh, hold on for a second. Let me zoom in here real quick. Look at all this fog we're starting to get off this little river. All those places this little river serpentines through this field. That looks so good. So I'm on F8. I'm probably gonna have to focus stack this a little bit. What I'm trying to do is keep my ISO as low as possible. And then I'm gonna take a shot for the foreground, midground, and background. I think I could probably just get away with 3 here. Yeah, so my histogram is not buried too far here. I'll also try one stop down, maybe another stop here. But I'm trying to let as much light in as possible and keep that ISO low. So this shot I'm working on right now, this is going to be the shot that I use for my foreground. Someone just drove through that shot. I'm going to take that one again. So this is the shot that I'm probably going to try to use for my foreground. And then hopefully I'll get dark quickly here so I don't have to wait around too long. Oof, squishy out here. So I changed my composition a little bit. Backed up a little farther, elevated the tripod a little bit because I think I'm gonna want a little bit more sky than I had before. And hopefully I should have a nice twilight foreground image that's plenty exposed. So now what I'm gonna do is wait around for the stars to come out, see how many deer join me. All right, start to be able to see the stars. Not that you can see me. Probably about another hour now. I'm not seeing any deer yet. I think maybe if there's one big lesson to take away is if you want to get the good shots, you have to be willing to do what other people normally aren't willing to do. It does get a little tedious, but at the same time, it's so peaceful out here. Like, it just got so quiet. So here's a fun fact you might not have known. When my wife and I moved out here from the East Coast, we were kind of blown away how dark the night skies got, when you're not around the cities. And we have a lot of areas like this where you can just see the sky unadulterated, One thing I didn't know is that when the sky's dark enough, you can see the Milky Way with your naked eye. It's pretty incredible to see it go the whole way across the sky. Actually, I'm just here with my thoughts. It's actually something I've been thinking a lot about lately. You see an awful lot of people on social media and on YouTube, and they're just, they show you their highlight reels, I think on this channel, I'm going to show a lot more of the, obviously I want to show you good stuff too, but, show you the process, the trial and error, the failures. A, that's how we all learn, and B, that's ultimately what makes this craft so compelling, at least for me, is just how challenging it is. And nothing goes right all the time, you know? In fact, I'd say photography is probably more of a numbers game than anything. The more at-bats you get, the more reps you make, the more likely you are to come out with something epic. But you have to have, 75% failure to get to those good ones, Anyway, I'm just rambling now. I love it out here. Something I forgot to mention is I'm shooting on a higher megapixel camera this time. So that's going to change my calculation a bit. I'm just running some tests here now. I think though, remember in my last video, I was using the A7 III, that's a 24.2 megapixel camera. So because the photo sites are larger on a camera like that, i.e. there's less pixels, you can expose for a little bit longer without seeing the star trails. This is a 61 megapixel camera, so that means that more megapixels, the photo sites are smaller. So I think based on the calculation that PhotoPills gave me, again, that NPF rule, that's what I use, but I don't do that math in my head. I use the PhotoPills app for that too. And I'm getting 8 seconds on that. So I think I'm gonna try for 10 and mess around with that. We're gonna see how it goes. And it's getting there. So it's 8:55 right now. One nice thing about it getting later in the year, so there's a couple nice things. One nice thing about it getting later in the year is the sun starts to go down earlier, so you don't have to stay out till like 3 a.m. to get your shots. You can still get home and get to bed at a decent time. The other nice thing, and unfortunately I didn't benefit from this today because it was just a crystal clear blue sky today, but when fall starts rolling in, you start to get some more mood in the air, some more clouds. That's a big misconception about this area, is that it rains all the time. But actually you get 4 to 5 months in the spring to late summer, early fall, where it doesn't rain at all. It's just constant blue skies. Amazing weather, but not the best weather for photography, because normally you want some kind of interest in the sky. So we're coming into one of my favorite times of the year to shoot. It gets a little wetter. Some of the mountain passes close early because the snow starts, but I think it lends to more dramatic scenes, especially when you start getting lots of mist and fog and interesting clouds and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. I have not been out shooting as much this summer as I should have. Part of it's because I've been focusing on generating content for this YouTube channel, which it takes up a surprising amount of time, I will say. Granted, I'll get faster at it as I go, but YouTube is not easy. But I feel like I'm starting to get in more of a rhythm now, so hopefully I should be able to get back to cranking out more photographs while I'm at it. And this is something, I think one of the things I love so much about photography is no matter how much you know about it, there still seems like there's a million other things to learn. There's always something you can do to practice and hone the craft and learn more. I mean, I watch, these amazing photographers on YouTube. One of them's from the Pacific Northwest, a guy I've been watching a lot lately. His name's Nick Page, incredible photographer. And it's easy to compare yourself, but that's also part of the challenge. Part of what makes it fun, at least for me, is knowing that there's always room to practice, always room to grow. I'll never be as good as I could potentially be. Man, I don't know, I'm feeling so philosophical tonight. Maybe it's because I'm just standing in one place for 2 hours. All right, still a tiny little bit of glow over there on the horizon, so it's not perfectly dark yet, but we're getting real close and I'm starting to get some good images. So the settings I've landed on at the moment here, I'm at 10 seconds, f2.8, ISO 8000, and I'm just starting to take repeated exposures of the same settings. And what I'll do then later is take all these similar exposures and I'll stack them. All right, so I think I'm gonna wrap up here for tonight. I got a lot of good images, I believe. What I'll do here is I'll put up on the screen right now the final result of everything that I captured. Hopefully you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed coming out here and taking I almost said this image, but these images, I guess. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed this, make sure, can you even see my thumbs? Give it the old like And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for sticking with me and hanging out here tonight. It's a good time. Talk soon. Later on.